Thank you for having me on your
What? Are you
smashing
kidding
podcast.
me?
Are we already started? Is this how it works?
It is recording, so don't say anything incriminating. Do you want the gum in your mouth?
I do.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you won't notice it.
You're good like that?
Yeah.
Where do you pocket it?
Under my tongue.
Really?
It's not nicotine gum or anything.
The whole time it's under your tongue?
Occasionally I'll give it like a little bit.
No, you could do that. Very Ryan Gosling.
Well, I find it's like like it helps like ease a little tension.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know why. Yeah.
Huh.
It started on my sitcom. I had a sitcom like 20 years ago called Two Guys Girl and a Pizza Place. And every episode of that show forever, I have gum in my mouth and you'll never know.
And none of the production people made you take it out?
No.
Huh.
Because they didn't really know.
They didn't know.
Yeah.
Wait, did you notice the color behind you?
I did. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Red. I was scared. Most people just go right to yellow just knowing it'll drive me nuts. And that it's the color of fear.
Red, baby.
I know, man.
Red for Deadpool.
Thank you.
I want to tell you a story before we start because this is like, I haven't told anybody because I feel like I'll be taken away. But my son Noah is not even 4. And he loves superheroes. Okay. Like all of them, knows them somehow.
Yeah.
He'll come out, he'll be like, I don't have Black Panther. I'm like, how do you know Black Panther?
Yes, I know. They do. They don't. They just know.
They just know.
Osmosis or something. It just
so he asked about Deadpool like a few months ago.
Oh, no.
And then I got him the figurine. And then he was sick. And I was like, whatever you want to watch. Whatever you want to watch. And he's like, Deadpool.
Deadpool.
I put on Deadpool. Yeah. I put on the rated R Deadpool and let him watch it. 4-year-old. Not 4-year-old. That's pushing it.
That's
aggressive.
Yeah, that's wow.
And then I like go to the bathroom, come back, you were like smoking a cigarette. Go to the bathroom, come back, you were making out. Go to the bathroom. Like I'm putting explosions aside, violence aside. Just even
Deadpool 1 in particular.
It was 1, yeah.
Is gnarly that way for kids. I mean, that's Deadpool 2. Not bad for kids. I don't think, you know, there's violence and stuff like that, but it's all pretty like over the top. It doesn't feel like real world. And Deadpool 3, even better, I think.
Are you calling it Deadpool 3? Are we allowed
Only when Hugh's not around.
Okay.
Deadpool, I guess, and Wolverine. Yeah, my 9-year-old saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
What you think?
She had the best time of her life.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, but it's not, there's like swear words. She's heard swear. It's always like your kids kind of go the opposite way. How did you find this? Like, I swear a little bit.
I tried that method.
Yeah, my kids don't, they get very upset when I swear.
Really?
Yeah, they don't do it themselves. Except Betty, our 4-year-old.
Because you swear so much, they hate it.
I think so, yeah. I don't swear around them so much, but like they see my work and stuff. Sometimes there's a lot of swear words. You know, like, Dad, stop.
Wait, so only your oldest saw...
My 9-year-old saw.
Your 9-year-old saw.
Yeah, and my 7-year-old's seen chunks, but will be seeing it tonight.
Really?
Yeah, she's seeing it tonight, yeah.
I saw it, the advanced screening.
So they probably didn't show you the whole movie because
they
the surprises
didn't. I know.
Yeah.
Wait, can you tell me since this will come out, or can we not say it in this room?
Like this comes out after?
Right.
Oh, God.
Think about it. Think about the NDA.
Uncharted territory. I don't know if I can do that.
Stop. You guys, so this is, we're filming this before it comes out in theaters. I've seen like 35, 40 minutes. It's so funny. Yeah. It's so good. So many references for us ladies, for us millennials.
Yes. A lot of which are Secret Weapon Blake Lively.
Yeah? She gave you the ideas? Or?
She's like a great, like I sort of love the kind of unbridled pop joy that exudes from the 90s in many ways. Parts of the 80s too, and then parts of the aughts. Like as we get into that, there's something about that, like how the remarkable amount of overlap there is in with joy and pop culture in those eras. So a lot of things I glean from Blake. Like I get a lot of help from Blake. I'm like, I just really like feel like this is like I needed this moment. She'd be like, oh, you know what? Avril Lavigne right here. Like, oh, it'll rush. And of course, she's completely right.
And a Gossip Girl reference. I mean, what references didn't we get?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, the gag reel on a movie like this is going to be great because it's not so much gags because everybody's super on it and professional. There's not a lot of like forgetting lines. But I tend to, people think I improvise a lot. I actually I write like 5 to 10 alternate jokes for almost every one I have. Not just for me, but for the other cast too. So on the gag reel, you'll see like all those alts that maybe didn't make it. And even when I watched them, I'm like, why didn't we put that in? That's so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then sometimes you're like, well, obviously that's not going in for many reasons. But yeah.
And do you know when Blake gives you these ideas of these millennial women ideas? Do you know all of them, or some you're like,
oh no, I know. I'm a bit of a, at heart, a millennial girl. So no, I think that's more of kind of our love language a little bit. No, we both love that kind of stuff. I mean, all my playlists are kind of really funky all over the place. Like, yeah, the Deadpool playlist it's been around since Deadpool 1.
Yeah.
And evolved slowly but surely. And it's always using sort of slightly outside the box songs that trigger both nostalgia and joy at the same time.
Well, Bye Bye Bye, the choreography sequence killed.
That song I've been trying to get in since Deadpool 1.
Trying what was
it? Just songs are tough, right? Like you write them in when I'm writing the script, I write the songs in too, and it's interesting to see which ones stay and which ones don't. Like a Prayer has been in my head for 6 years. Like that song, the sequence it's used in, you did not see it, but you will see it when you see the film. The sequence it's used in to the T. That's been in my head forever.
Wow.
And then other ones you just think is going to work like great. It doesn't. No matter how good the song, it's nothing to do with that. It has to there's something about it. It has to match the rhythm of the moment, and certain songs elevate the feeling you're having, and other ones diminish.
But Bye 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 had to be planned and used because you did a whole. I mean, it was the whole thing.
Well, Bye 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 worked on 7 different levels for this. I mean,
crazy.
Also, just the words "Bye Bye Bye" with what I'm doing in the sequence are quite perfect.
And you learn the choreography.
Well, that's also Nick Pauley who helped with that. He's a professional dancer, and so we both kind of did our own little chunks.
Oh,
the parts that sound like they have a complete absence of maybe arthritis or Canadian are him, and then the other parts that feel a little bit more.
Well, you're saying because there were parts where the shoulder was popping.
Well, sometimes it's just a little pop. You're just like, oh, I can do that. That's fine. But then when it gets into just like a well-oiled machine, that's.
Did you teach your kids the dance and learned it?
Oh no, they know.
They know
it? They know that. They do that all the time.
No,
they're obsessed with NSYNC.
And I have to say, it made me want to see not only the other Deadpools in the theater, because there's something else. I've been an anti-theater girl for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Give me streaming, give me the link, Yeah. And then you go to the theater and you hear the boom, boom, pow, pow, pow. Yeah. Especially with an action movie, you know?
Yeah, an action comedy like this, but also the thing that I think people are expecting comedy and they're expecting action that is sort of quite singular, and I think that it does that. What they don't expect is the warmth and the emotion, and all of that's the stuff that I'm most proud of in the movie. In fact, when we were writing it, we were writing a movie that had no comedy, and that's the only way you can write it. The comedy you go back and put in. You got to have a story that works on its own first and foremost, a beginning, a middle, and end that are super satisfying. And then the theater experience, which I get, why you might have felt like that at some point, but somebody talked about this years ago called, there's a phenomenon called collective effervescence. And collective effervescence is something I really believe in, which is just it's a shared experience where you're having an experience that is sort of driven by bliss and joy and happiness. And when you're having that experience amongst many other people, the feeling gets heightened in a way that almost feels like a drug. Like it gets really kind of big and overwhelming and beautiful. And I believe that. I mean, when I sit in a movie theater and I'm watching something that is just a fastball of love, joy, fun, I feel that high when I'm leaving. And Deadpool and Wolverine was not written in the sort of grand and storied history of comic book movies to be a commercial for another movie. It was written to be a complete experience. So when you go to the movie and you pay money that you've worked hard to have, you get to walk out of the theater not feeling like, oh, they've left me hanging for the next installment. Instead, you get to walk out of the theater going like, that was the best fucking 2 hours I've had in forever. And I'm going to ride that for as long as possible.
So how did you get your lover, Hugh?
I know who you're going, yes.
Yeah. To do this with you, because I've read that he didn't want to do Deadpool in the past.
No, that's actually incorrect. He's always wanted to do Deadpool. The thing is he did Logan, which I consider a masterpiece with James Mangold. It's one of the best comic book movies ever made, but also just like one of the best movies. And he said it would be his last. And then 3 days later, he saw Deadpool 1, and he just thought, oh, come on. Like, this is, to get this opportunity to do like a 48 hours or kind of a midnight run, planes, trains, and automobiles together would have been. So we always talked about it. And I was like, there's got to be a way to do it. And then it was him, not me. August 14th, 2022, he was on the LIE driving, and he slammed on the brakes, pulled over, and called me. And we've been basically best buddies since 2008, like a long time. But when your friend calls you, doesn't text, you're like, are you dead?
What is wrong? Yeah.
Who's on fire? Who died? And he basically said, I want to do this. I want to come back. I don't even know where you are in the script writing or what's, I have to.
Did he know that did you and him know that if he came back, it would be like a together thing, or was he thinking cameo or something smaller?
No, he didn't know where I was in the script writing process. But what was amazing was I was nowhere. I really, really, and I admit this, struggled so much to find the why. Like, why would I go do this movie? Why would I do a third Deadpool movie? And Hugh was the why. And it also drove everything else. It was so weird to just lean into the truth in the writing, which is that, I think, people, we sort of have this idea that like universes matter and all this stuff. That's what sort of comic book movies do. But I don't think universes matter to most people. I think the characters matter, and a small group of people, the small group of people we surround ourselves with and love, that's our whole world. And to me, that feels much more Deadpool or Deadpoolian or whatever you want to say. So that was the thing. When Hugh signed on, it really compounded the fact that, and I know this might be the sort of boring part, but Disney bought Fox.
Okay, I could do I would make you come back for like a podcast on that.
I would totally talk about that forever.
So give us the quick for like the non-comic book Marvel
basically
nerds.
Deadpool and Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah.
This huge storied 25-year legacy is all at Fox, 20th Century Fox. Not Fox News.
Yeah.
At 20th Century Fox Studios, which is a storied, century-old studio, who've made movies forever. And when Disney bought Fox, they bought everything, the whole catalog, all of that stuff. And that all came under the umbrella or the roof of Disney. And in doing so, there was basically Disney said or Marvel rather, said, we want to bring Deadpool over, but we don't want the rest. And that actually ended up becoming an allegory for the writing, which is that, like, this idea that you keep your MCU. I want my family. I want the people I love. That's what I want. Even though Deadpool's wish, beyond wishes, is to be in the MCU, is to matter and to be taken seriously and to, he loves his people, and that's all he really cares about. Blind Al, who's played by Leslie Uggams, and Vanessa, and Colossus, and all these characters that I did the other two movies with. So
did that happen? Did they agree?
I was able to get them to say yes to that stuff, and I think at the end of the day,
Ryan Reynolds, not you, Deadpool.
Me, Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. It was. They've been incredible partners. It'd be a fun, easy story to be like, oh, Disney. It was so hard to get anything done in a R-rated movie at Disney, but they've understood the whole thing from the get-go.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they couldn't quite bring those other ones over. So that became the thrust of the story. That's what we wrote.
Yeah.
And Hugh saying yes and Hugh coming in, that gave us all the why and the how.
Yeah.
And suddenly it all just clicked in. And I realized I was just pushing it before. I was like trying to make a movie just to make a movie or tell a story just to tell a story. It doesn't work I'm not a good enough writer to do that. So like I needed to ground it in something that was actually really happening. Myself and my co-writers, Sean Levy and Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, those two guys I've written the first two movies with as well.
Wait, so August 2022, he gave you the call, and we're in August, almost 2024. So 2 years and the movie's out.
Yeah.
Does that usually happen, that kind of a fast timeline?
It can, if you're organized. Part of the reason, too, I keep doing movies with Sean Levy, who directed this. He also did Free Guy and Adam Project. It's like he and I are like a creative brotherhood, kind of. We're both, guys that sort of lead with emotion sometimes and vulnerability, but mask it with humor and those kinds of things. And I really wanted to make this movie with him. But one of the reasons I do is that when I produce movies with Sean, we pride ourselves in making them on time, on budget, and responsibly. And it's something that you'd be shocked with how rarely happens in showbiz. So
Like you can go over budget, over
budget. You can also just fall prey to indulgence. And like these movies have always worked and always will work. I don't know if we'll ever get to make one again, but I would say, I don't know. But they've always worked with constraint and necessity being the mother of invention, right? So like if these kinds of movies, you don't remember spectacle. People don't remember like, oh, the big planet was exploding and they remember character. They remember like lines and moments. And I think that's the thing that I feel like draws us, me and Sean, from rest to effort more than anything is character stuff. So the more you constrain a movie and create like, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that, the more you're forced to think asymmetrically and kind of like find ways around it. I remember Deadpool 1, there's a sequence, you know, your 4-year-old would know. No one knows. Noah's got this down pat, is that there's a sequence on the freeway when, you know, Deadpool he's got to fight all these bad guys. And like the way it was initially written was he has like all of his weapons in his bag and he comes out shooting and, you know, it all turns into this crazy action sequence. Well, Fox, 3 weeks before we shot, said, we need to take $7 million out of your budget. So they took $7 million out of the budget, but it screwed us. Like it was we already had the lowest budget comic book movie we were making in history anyway.
Yeah.
And so we went ahead anyway. And that's how the sort of like the 12 bullet sequence happened, which was each one had a number on it. And Deadpool says, I have 12 bullets. There's 40 of you. So you're going to have to share, you know, and the whole sequence was built around because you didn't have the money for that other stuff. So,
but you're so right. People don't care. Like I more cared about like, oh, look at his walk-up apartment in New York. You got a really, it's really dingy one.
Yeah.
A lot of stairs.
Yeah.
So were you a fan, like a comic book fan, a Deadpool fan specifically?
Yeah. I mean, not specifically, but like Deadpool came on my radar maybe 20 years ago. I was doing Blade Trinity, a movie with a vampire. It was just, and somebody sent me the comic book and said, you should look at Deadpool. And I looked at it, and in the comic book, it said, somebody asked him what he looks like under the mask. And he said, I look like a cross between Ryan Reynolds and a Shar-Pei. And I was like, what? So I sort of read a bunch of them, and I kind of just fell in love with this guy that knows he's in a comic book movie, but there are rules around that. And I loved that he was doing things that were just completely polar opposite to what comic book movies were doing. Like, there was a macho kind of thing that happens in most of these action movies, and Deadpool always leads with a feminine touch. And I loved that. Like, it's the reason I'm so broken is that stunt guys would do a stunt for me, but they would look so badass doing it. I'm like, no, you gotta sashay away. You don't just walk away with your like bow legs and no, it's gotta be. So then I ended up doing it myself, and it would be
So did you do a lot of your own stuff?
I do a lot of stuff. I've got Alex Kishkovich, who's a guy who's been my double as well for years. He understands the assignment as well. So we both, anytime he's doing like a triple flip in pike position, that's probably him.
Wait, and how's that suit? Because I'm watching you wearing it, and I'm like, that must get misty in there.
I think the Deadpool suit and the Wolverine suit, I think, are the two best comic book suits.
Oh, yeah?
In the history of comic book movies.
Why?
I know there's a lot of people out right now who are going, Batman. I mean, I think they're, because they're just so well constructed, and they genuinely feel like they're ripped right out of the comic books. And I feel like, and Hughes played Wolverine for 24 years and never worn it. That's the suit that Wolverine wears in every cartoon, every comic ever made. So when he said, I want to come back, I said, well, I think you got to wear the yellow. Like, we got to find a way to give them that, And he was like, great. And when he put it on, he said, I can't believe I've ever done this without it.
Like, it gives you like an extra layer of
that. And there's also like there's an air about it that is like very weird. I wasn't expecting. I mean, we were shot in Pinewood in London. You're talking like crew members who are 4th generation craftspeople who've seen everything, been around 100 movies, thousands. When we walked onto the set together, I was in the red, he was in the yellow. Like a hush fell over this. Like, it was weird, And I remember this guy, Billy Lawless is his name. He's one of the on-set dressers who handles that. When we were walking off the end of the day, he goes, this was the best day of my life.
Wow.
Like, what? He was like, yeah, it's the best day I've ever had on a set ever.
Wow.
I was like, that's crazy.
So was it, because I know making movies is hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
But our job
and I've told the people that are listening
to make it look really easy.
You guys make it look easy. It is hard. But was it so much more fun and so much easier because you were doing it with your bestie?
It was both. I mean, I felt like an incredible responsibility to deliver for Hugh. If he's going to do this and come back this way, I got to make sure that there's a very, very good reason, and that we deliver. And
well, like, how could you be scared that you deliver? Wasn't the second one like the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time or something?
They both were. The first one is still the biggest opening weekend of any R-rated movie ever, and then the second one is second place, I think.
And you were nominated for a Golden Globe for it. I mean, how could you even have an insecurity about the
because
third?
It doesn't, it's not like that. Once you find the why and the how, then it's like you have a purpose. I still didn't quite know.
Yeah.
So, and I was never, I never had under my purview the most, I think, the most iconic character in the Fox Marvel universe as part of the story. So, like, I felt it was incumbent on me to make sure that Hugh feels that he's not just putting something up on the screen that is better or different than he's ever done before, but also to kind of get under the hood about some things that I don't think have ever been explored about that character. Like, one major question is discussed in the movie that I think has been something Hugh personally has wanted, a scratch he's wanted to itch his entire tenure playing this character. So we got to do that. And then I felt like, okay, like, we got it. Like, we've got that. Now I can worry about Deadpool and some of the other stuff in the movie. And
I'm sure, like, Hugh probably had so much fun with you. Because was he ever in, like, a funny, bantery kind of?
Oh, Hugh's, like, the nicest man. I always say he literally makes ice cream look like actual murder. He's that nice. He's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. Like, the sweet, genuinely, on screen, off screen. He and I have this funny little feud that we've always done.
Right.
But if you saw us behind closed doors, we're, like, vulnerable. We talk about our feel. That's all we talk about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But he does this funny thing with you online, right? The, like, feud. But for you, I feel like it comes naturally. Like, is Hugh like that? Like, I feel like it's probably hard for him to, like...
very funny.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's very funny. He's Australian. He's like, he can roll with kind of anything.
Right, Australians.
Yeah, you're not even allowed to enter puberty unless you've killed something with your teeth. Like, he's a serious deal.
Right.
So, like, I love him. I love, everything about him.
How did you become friends?
I did one of the first big movies I ever got to be a part of. I was a supporting character in X-Men Origins Wolverine. It was actually the first time I played Deadpool, but it was just this, like, really wonky, sort of bastardized version of Deadpool that wasn't right. And this is in 2007 or 8.
Wait, so Deadpool has been, like, in your life?
Long time, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I remembered my first day on that set. I was in Sydney, Australia is where we shot it. And Hugh came running up to me. I was bewildered and jet lagged in the middle of the night. It was a night shoot. And Hugh came running up to me and just, knew my name. I suddenly then watched him on set, and he was I've never seen anyone with that level of class and kindness and it being so genuine and just like a genuinely wonderful leader on set. And I remember thinking, if I'm ever lucky enough in this business to orbit anything even remotely close to this guy's level of, achievement or whatever you want to call it, that's the way to do it.
Wow.
And so we just became fast friends. And I remember I felt like I sucked in the first, it was a writer's strike, so I had to kind of improv everything. I mean, the character's Deadpool is called the Merc with the Mouth, and I was, like, desperate to play him, even if it was going to be this wonky, weird version. And I remember I didn't like what I did. And it was the end of the day, and he was being sweet. He was like, "Are you happy with everything?" I was just like, "Yeah." He was like, "Come on, what's going on, man? What's going?" We didn't really know each other that well, and I said, "I feel like I could have done that scene in the elevator better, but otherwise, I'm fine."
Yeah.
He was like, "Fire up the elevator. Everyone, put your clothes back on. We're going back to set. I know it's overtime. Let's just go. We're gonna get it." And that's what's in the movie. And that was just,
He spoke up for you.
Yeah, he was the producer on the movie. He was the star. He was all, he was using his power for good.
Yeah.
And he's never not used his power for good. I just love the guy.
Yeah.
I always will. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. You're kind of like the Ben and Matt of
I guess a little. Yeah, we have
of Marvel?
Yeah, no? I guess we have a bit of that. I mean, I bet I see him more than Ben and Matt see each other.
Yeah.
Because we live in the same neighborhood. We, like, hang out all the time.
Yeah.
And you're right. Your original question was, is it hard doing all this stuff and running around? It is hard, and our job is genuinely to make it look easy.
Yeah. I'd
be lying if I didn't say, like, sometimes I get overstimulated, and I have trouble sometimes regulating that. Like, my brain starts to move way faster than my mouth can kind of keep up with. And it sounds like, well, that sounds good. Like, you're kind of, it's not. It feels like a weird.
Like, do you mean when you're done with work and you're trying to go to sleep and the thoughts just don't stop coming?
When I'm in the middle of it too, like I can find that I I can't slow down, and I have to just stop.
Yeah.
And I stop talking or stop, and then when of course, when I'm home, it's like whizzing, and I need to, and it's always kind of been the case. But so part of the job is to make all of this look delightful and easy. With Hugh, it is kind of that. But then I also have him to be like, buddy, I can't, my brain is like beating me up right now.
Yeah.
He's just like, I got you. Like, let me go out there and I'll do this one. And, you just kind of hang back a bit and let me lead and let me just go. And he'll do that. And like, you'll see us in interviews where I'm kind of just smiling and like looking at him and I'm actually
like zoning out.
Just a little bit of distress, actually. I'm not even zoning out. I'm just like, I'm trying to practice exactly what he preached and just let it kind of wash over me for a minute.
He has like a calmer.
Yeah, he's always had a much kind of more calmer, kind of, more well-balanced energy than I have. Yeah.
Well, you always have such funny Instagram posts, but one of the things that actually made me laugh out loud recently was when you guys were hanging out, you and Hugh, and somebody else was there, I can't remember, and you were drinking, what drink was it? And you were like, this is why we can't be, this is why we're never going to play James Bond.
Yeah.
You were, wasn't an espresso martini, it was another drink.
We were at Duke's, which is a famous martini, bar in London. It's like the most famous. I think you're only allowed to have 2. That's it.
Oh, they cut you off?
Yeah.
Because they'll get you so fucked up, or because
they're powerful.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Even if it's Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, they don't give you more than 2?
I did not want to test that theory because after 1, I was legally boneless and made of magic. Like there was nothing, I was basically Play-Doh.
Really?
Rolled into a ball.
It's a different kind of like alcohol?
I don't know if it's a different kind of alcohol. It's just more of it.
Oh, it's maybe a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you guys were drinking it.
So,
and you were leaning.
I'm hunched all the way over, like it's like my arms don't work, but so I'll just bring my lips to the glass,
right?
Like if a farm animal was suddenly given a martini, like this is how it would go down. It's not a trough fuck face. Like it's a martini. Like you're supposed to put it up to your lips with your pinky doing something. And then, you're supposed to have a look of satisfaction on your face. But I couldn't pull off the bare minimum of human decency in that moment.
So you were like, we're never going to play James Bond.
We're none of us, no. Even though all of us actually fall under the Commonwealth umbrella to a certain degree. No, then we'll never play James.
Wait, and is there another superhero that you'd want to play?
Absolutely not.
No?
Nope.
Yeah? Hanging up the suit?
Yeah, I don't have, I not exaggerating when I say I put my last drop of blood into this movie. And boy, did I love every second of it. Yeah. But after this, I'm just going to go be a dad and a husband. And
what do you mean, forever, ever?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would never pull a Jackman right now and say I'm out. But I don't know what I'm doing next. I don't want to know. I don't like.
You want to chill for a bit?
Yeah, there's like the studio's always like, okay, like what are we thinking for
right?
I don't. The movie's it's. I love that it's
it's
a complete movie.
Yeah,
like. That's okay. I think that's okay sometimes. So I'm not saying I wouldn't want to do something in the future. I think it's okay to just sit back
to have that be it.
Yeah, and let it all happen. Yeah.
You had some really funny spots for this movie. You did one with the Bachelorette. It made me think: would Hugh make a good bachelor?
Golden Bachelor. Yeah.
Golden Bachelor.
Platinum. What comes after that?
No.
A fossilized bachelor. Here, we're gonna match this set of bones.
And wait, you did Housewives too, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you actually watch? Do you know?
No, I know a little bit. Yeah, but not at black belt level at all. No.
Oh, I love the black belt Karen reference too.
Oh yeah, I have a black belt in Karen.
Yeah, that was good.
I love that too. I had to fight for that one.
Really? Well, tell him.
Like, come on.
Amanda said she really liked him.
Thank you, Amanda. I feel very validated.
No, you should
right now
because I was there. You almost want to remember the. There's so many, but for me, since I'm because I'm watching it more for that than the
Yeah, of course.
Even though I like that too.
Yeah.
I was like, that was so funny. I want to remember it. So the black belt Karen.
Yeah,
was one that
it was my favorite thing in the screenings where people would just totally miss jokes because they were laughing at the first thing and they missed the second and the third. But that's
Give
the
it
best.
A second. I know.
No, but that's always the same thing we did in Deadpool 1 and 2. It's don't wait for it's not a sitcom. You don't hold. You just let's go. You just keep going. Let them.
And the amount of breaking the fourth wall is just really, really cool. So you said that you used a body double a little bit. Was it for the choreography and for the kind of crazy sequences you said?
There's certain things that like, I just couldn't physically do. And you can always go like, oh, well, did you double it? Like they do this thing in a lot of these movies where you have a digital double that is built for you basically. So they can have your digital double. I can start a move and the digital double will take over and do something crazy.
What's a digital double?
It's basically for intense stunts.
Is it AI?
Stunts that human beings just can't do.
Oh, wow.
But we try not to use it. Ultimately, like this movie, we tried to shoot in natural environments, which is pretty rare for a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Despite the risk of spoilers, because if you're shooting in natural environments, people could take pictures and see some of the surprises. But we also just really wanted it to feel grounded. Like I don't want to see something that feels like a cartoon.
Right.
I want to see people like putting in the effort. So Hugh transformed his body. I mean, he looked. Insane. Like he'd come from 8 shows a week of Music Man. It's just like an athletic event every show. So by the time he finished that, he knew he was going into this movie. He had a year to put on 2 more Hughs. And I mean, he looked like I said it before. He looked like Dick Van Dyke went vegan at the end of his. I was like, how are you supposed to fit into this? And he started.
Were you like, calm down? I don't want to look like smaller than you.
Oh no, I want to look smaller than that. But he was eating 6,000 calories a day and just training like a beast.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe that transformation. So
no, there was a vein like
Harriet
staring at me.
Yeah, there's Harold and Harriet. I call
you named
have a no. They're like it's like somebody implanted 2 jugulars into his arm.
I think there was a moment in the movie when I was like, something's on his arm. Like I didn't even realize it was a vein because it's way too big.
He has 2 auxiliary hearts that are pumping blood just to his arms.
Yeah.
But the idea that we could go as practical as humanly possible.
Wait, how old is Hugh?
Somewhere in his mid-80s. I'm not sure. He's
You're never gonna say
I don't know. No, he's 55. He's 50. He's
55.
He's 55. So part of him was like, I want to challenge myself. I want to see if I can do this. Oh my God,
you're like, yes, you can.
Crazy. And I do. So to answer your other question is like, we all do our own stunts to the best of our abilities, but if there's something that is just like I have to keep shooting, producing, and writing the movie. Like if I go do a backflip off of a building and don't land it just right, like I'm the asshole, not anyone else.
Right.
I got it, so.
Wait, so we're recording this. I've just watched the advanced screening. It hasn't come out yet, and people are really speculating on the Lady Deadpool situation.
Yeah, there's a lot of guesses on a lot of things that are pretty.
That's a big one. People are really thinking it might be Blake.
Yeah. The internet thinks it's me.
What?
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was me.
And who is it?
You want to know?
Yes.
Well, I've been sleeping with her.
It's Blake! Yay! Oh my God.
I'm not saying she's enjoyed the sleeping together part, but I'm just saying I have.
You've been.
I have no notes.
Wait, that's so cool. Oh my God.
That's so weird. I feel nauseous even saying
No, okay, yeah.
Wait. All I do is keep secrets.
No, but imagine by then, like, everyone will know.
Yeah.
So it's not even dramatic.
No, that's
It's true. Like, oh, Blake was Lady Deadpool. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Was it so, did you probably knew right away you were going to have her be it?
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of, it was like kind of one of those things where you're like, well, why not? I mean, go for it, of course.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're all there together anyway.
Right. So, come on in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Get in the suit.
Let's go nuts. Yeah.
Did she love it?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. She did love it. And she's one of the funniest people I know anyway. But yeah, making a little appearance as Lady Deadpool is pretty cool.
Wait, so who makes you laugh more, Hugh or Blake?
Blake. I mean, Hugh and I are, again, like very, like, it's, it would sicken you. We're just, all we talk about is like our feelings. And but once we're out in the world, it's like we're joking around all the time. Yeah. Blake is one of the funniest people I know.
So who started with the funny captions on like Instagram, you or Blake?
I don't know. I mean, I think I came to social media later than most, as did Blake. We always have just take the piss out of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a sign of a healthy relationship. There's 2 things I think are a sign of a fairly healthy relationship. One is that you're, and I would say this exists between people who are close friends and people who are married and people, is genuinely rooting for the other person. Like if you're really, like at the end of the day, want the other person to win or succeed, whatever that looks like to them, to me is a pretty good measure like the veracity of the relationship, you know? And I feel like that with Hugh. Like, I want Hugh to win.
Yeah.
Like, I love this guy. I want him to win.
Well, Blake just posted Deadpool, and she was like, and you'd think I'd be competitive because, like, my movie.
Yeah, it ends with us.
It ends with us. Yeah. It's coming out at the same time. Did you guys know that? Like, were you like, oh, shit?
We had the date first, but that was, we were both movies were affected greatly by the strike, the labor strike that happened. So we were originally starting the summer off May 3rd, I think. And we couldn't hold that date and conceivably edit the movie properly and render visual effects properly. So, and then they plopped down in August, which I think is actually a great date, and that movie's so good.
And do you think it's like for the same audiences? Both movies? Like whoever's going to go see It Ends With Us?
That's an interesting question, Amanda. I think people are expecting certain things of Deadpool and Wolverine, which we very much meet.
Yeah.
But I think they're not expecting the warmth and the heart and the emotion. And I think I would say the same about It Ends With Us, which is I think people are expecting heart, warmth, and emotion in a movie that deals with subject matter like that, which is intense. But there is a certain kind of sparkle and charm and levity in moments that
So you've seen It Ends With Us already?
Oh, yeah.
Did you cry?
I was a mess. Also, I found Blake's performance to be, I know I'm biased, but I pretty good at I'm self-loathing enough for me. Watching me is hard enough, but like watching her, I would say it filters through some of that prism as well. I was a mess. Really? I found it revelatory.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to ask, I know she styles herself. Does she help style you ever?
Are you crazy? Of course. Anything I've worn that you're like, meh, is like, that's me.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to ask about one item. Mm-hmm. You love a paperboy hat.
Yeah.
Is that...
I was a paperboy. Not kidding. Yeah, for years.
Wait, is that all you?
That has always been me.
Does she approve?
That predated
Blake. Does she approve of it?
She loves it.
She loves it?
She actually loves it because it's me. I don't think she loves it necessarily as a fashion accessory. She loves it because
oh,
yeah, that was kind of, that's me.
Like my little grampy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a little bit like that, know?
Yeah.
Now I'm actually old. So I don't do as much old grampy dressing anymore.
Right, you need to balance
now
it
I'm
out.
like, I walk out of the house, I'm like wearing nothing but baby powder. Maybe one single rhinestone, and I won't tell you where it is.
50 is coming up in a few years.
Yeah, 47.
Is that a big deal to you?
No. I'm saying this understanding that like the measure and standards for women and men are like both held to, fucking preposterous differences, and I think it's psychotic and sick, and probably an aspect of a sick society. But like, if you take anyone, and I mean anybody, the fucking goal is to get old. Like, the goal is to get old.
I love that.
You do not want to stay that age. I know that's easier for me to say because there isn't a similar set of exacting and impossible standards placed or emphasized on me that there is for women. But I also recognize that needs to, and I think maybe it's changing a little bit. Like, I think the paradigm shifts a bit there. And I hope more. And you're also seeing men, fall into a bit of that. Like, how do I maintain my...
But you're so right what you're saying.
And
because I'm a superstitious gal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I won't allow myself to say, like, I don't want to get old. Because to me, that's like, knock on wood. I don't want God to think that I want to die. You know? Didn't say that.
Yeah.
So like, if we think about it like that, you guys.
Two things can be true though. You can complain about your back or your whatever, and then you complain that you don't like the certain physical attributes that are happening, and then also be grateful for it too. Like I think things are shifting in ways that are pretty good in both respects for both. Genders.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you another question.
Mm-hmm.
A few questions about, because this is such a quick movie. You have so many amazing lines, so much like that shows that you're really good at like the internet and what's going on right now. So we're going to ask you some questions to see if you know what's going on.
Okay, oh God.
Or if just Deadpool knows what's going on.
Water because that just made me nervous.
Well, no, I'll be shocked if you don't know.
Really
Okay, I'll be shocked if
I'm
you
ready.
do
I'm
that.
ready.
Okay,
I think the internet's the best listening device on earth.
Okay.
Though. Like it. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So, and this is like answer like what's in right now? Socks. Show or no show?
To show your socks or not to show your socks?
Yeah. Well, look at yours. Show.
100%.
See?
Even in shorts, get those suckers right up to your chins.
Good
Actually,
job.
Fuck it. Make it a turtleneck. I want socks that go all the way up. I don't want them to quit mid-fibula.
See, you know.
Yeah.
Look at your socks. Okay. This is an easy one. If you got that, I feel like we're going to roll. Side part or middle part?
Oh. I love a middle part, but side part? I got that wrong.
You got that wrong. Side part is out, babe.
Side part's out.
Yeah.
But I've always loved a middle part.
Yeah?
More so than a side part.
Really? So
Yeah.
you're in?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of like, I hedged my bet.
Oh,
on
you
that
thought
answer.
you liked something, but that the other thing
Yes,
was like.
I
like
always like a middle part.
Yeah.
Like
So
when
you're-
Blake rocks a middle part, I'm always like, yes, queen. I don't say that as much as I say like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, the middle part. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're good. Skinny jeans, in or out right now?
Out. In. Back again?
No, you said out.
Out. Skinny jeans
Yes.
are back in?
No, you're good. You're correct.
Thank you.
Out.
I thought we finished. I thought we got the vaccine for those.
Okay, whole milk or nut milk?
I mean, I don't. This is like tough.
What's in? What's in?
Obviously, nut milk.
No.
But I drink whole milk.
Oh, but you're right. It's whole milk.
Oh, really?
Whole milk is back in. That's the cool young kids.
The kids are into whole milk.
Yeah, now the nut milk is like
I think
out.
we're gonna be okay.
Yes.
Guys, we did it. We
Okay.
won.
Now some acronyms.
Hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
This is an easy one. ICYMI.
In case you missed it,
Okay. ISTG.
ISTG. Oh God. Well, I'm so thankful for what is it? Come on.
I swear to God.
Oh, I swear to God. Of course. All right.
And FOMO, you know.
Yeah, of course. You're missing.
DIFTP.
Do I even have to explain it? What is it? DIFTP?
Do it for the plot.
Oh, well, I don't know that.
Well, you got it. You got. I
don't
mean,
know
listen,
that.
you
Hey,
guys.
no cap. I do not know that.
Okay, you used it in the movie, right?
What? No, where?
No cap. Oh no,
cap.
it was
no
in,
cap was in the
was in the thing. No, see, I couldn't keep up with all the.
Yeah, no.
I just learned no cap. I googled it. I still don't really get it.
No cap's pretty good. I like that run, like Deadpool trying to be a Gen Z with his no
works.
cap, AF, slay, 4-hour work week, quiet quitting.
4-hour work week.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
did
great.
you do you ever get stuck in the? I mean, I'm sure you're not like method acting for Deadpool, but like I could imagine like it's just so fun. Do you come home and you're like in that mode of like bada
No.
bing, bada boom?
No, I hang that up when I come home for
Yeah.
sure. No problem. I mean, I've been doing this for three
Yeah.
decades. I'm that guy. I still like, and I've worked with some method people. Interestingly enough, like, don't see a lot of women actresses that are method.
Yeah.
You see a lot of men
Right.
because, like, again, like that.
We would be looked at like we're psycho.
Yes, that's what's another thing that's frustrating. So like when I see like a dude on the set that's like, plays
talk to me.
the bad guy who's giving me the hairy eyeball while we're both helping ourselves to an organic Greek salad, I'm like, go fuck off. Come on, man. Like, relax. Drop it. I'm sorry we're in the 18th century, but you're on Instagram right now, you fuck. So like that gets a little frustrating and you just don't see the room being made.
Yeah.
For actresses as well.
Right.
So it's a very interesting double standard there too.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there aren't method actresses out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
But the space isn't there isn't as much space maybe.
Yeah. It's not like it's
for it.
okay. He sent you a rat. He's method
Oh yeah,
acting.
we know. I know that reference.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. Like, and it's it's also know your audience too, right?
Yeah.
I can't. If someone I just wouldn't work well with that.
Yeah.
Someone on set was just. I would feel like you're making your process everyone's process.
Yeah.
And that's not
Right.
a kind thing to do. That's not a work environment we want to foster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on my show.
Thanks for having me. My God. I think
Yes.
got like 4 or 5 usable minutes there.
Thank you so much. Everybody go watch Deadpool. It's not the movie that you think it is.
No, really.
Hashtag Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes, ma'am.
Hashtag bromance.
Hashtag.
Hashtag.
all in.
No, it's so good. I had so much fun. By the way, I went to the screening. It was at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And I just had a baby like a month and a half ago. And I was like, it was like so nice.
2 kids?
2 kids now.
Oh man, you're in it.
I'm in it. I'm in it. I mean, I'm not crazy, but
no, you're in it.
I'm in it. Thank you so much.
It's the best thing that ever happened to me. I gotta say, very awesome. Yeah.
I know it's cheesy, but it's true.
Someone asked the other day, like, what changed? I was like, oh well, I definitely having kids. Meeting my wife and having kids, and because you're from that point forward, to a certain degree, you're playing with the house's money. Like you kind of got every decision I made was bolder, and I took authorship of things in ways because I had this like, oh, if this all fucking fails, I still have that. It's a kind of a superpower. Yeah. So like having kids is kind of awesome.
That is. Yeah. I wanted to ask you one more thing because I loved what you said, and I actually posted it even before we scheduled this interview because I just had a baby. That you said in like 2016. You said on a talk show, like they asked you like dad advice or something. And you were like, she's she's pushing something out of her vagina. Yeah, like change the diapers.
Yeah, change the fucking diapers.
Change the fucking shit. Change the shit.
Yeah.
So do you have like any updated dad advice?
I would say like just, now it's like how absent can I be? How long can I go without even a cursory phone call? No, right now, I think it's just embrace this like the chaos. We have 4 kids. Like, okay, nothing's gonna be like tidy ever again. Like when you walk in, yes, it will though. When they all leave the house,
right?
When they're all gone, and like my wife always says, her name's Blake. She always says that like this is they're all under our roof right now. Like the whole family's under our roof right now. We have them all.
Yeah, and
like that is a fleeting thing. It is not an infinite resource,
Right.
So, kind of embrace the chaos of it all. It's like it is, because it does get to you, and it's okay to be like, fuck, I am dying here. Like that's gonna happen every other day,
right?
But if you can just think about like what you would give in 40 years or 30 years to come back and enjoy this
to put
one
them to
moment.
Sleep or
or they can't even. Our kids can't even go to sleep unless they're like in our bed.
Really?
So I as much as I want to say, I would love to spread out and fall asleep normally. Again, I sort of
you'll do that. When you're Hugh's age.
That's true. That is true. God willing. God willing, and the Centrum Silver lasts.